What if I told you that the moment your mind screams to quit, you're not even halfway there? That's the 40% rule, a tool David Goggins used to transform himself from an overweight man into one of the toughest human beings alive. That voice telling you you're spent is an ancient survival switch, but safety and comfort are enemies of growth. Goggins discovered that when that voice yells, you've only used 40% of your actual capacity. This isn't just about physical endurance. It's the key to unlocking a level of performance you've never imagined. We all know the feeling. A project feels overwhelming. A goal feels impossible. Your mind builds a wall and says it's the end of the road. This is your comfort zone, a cage built by your brain to protect you. It whispers excuses and magnifies every difficulty. But Goggins teaches that comfort is a trap. That stuck feeling isn't because the task is too hard, it's because you're letting that internal governor win. To understand the rule, you have to understand the man. Goggins wasn't born a hero. His early life was marked by abuse and poverty. By his early 20s, he worked in pest control and weighed nearly 300 pounds. Then, a documentary on Navy SEALs changed everything. The problem? The maximum weight for entry was 191 pounds. His mind said it was impossible, but he declared war on that voice, losing 106 pounds in less than 3 months. He became the only member of the US Armed Forces to complete SEAL training, Army Ranger School, and Air Force Tactical Air Controller training. He has run over 60 ultra-endurance races and once held the world record for pull-ups, completing 4,030 in 17 hours. Goggins is living proof that our perceived limits are illusions. The 40% rule states that when your mind tells you you're done, you are actually at only 40% of your true capacity. You have a 60% reserve you haven't even touched. This connects to the central governor theory proposed by scientist Tim Noakes. It's a survival mechanism in our brain that slows us down long before we reach exhaustion to prevent injury. Think of marathon runners who hit a wall but still finish. That wall isn't physical, it's a mental barrier. The 40% rule is the conscious decision to override that governor. To recognize the feeling of done is a suggestion you can ignore. Goggins weaponized this rule during his first Badwater 135, a 135-mile ultramarathon through Death Valley. With almost no training, he was physically shattered at mile 70. His feet were broken and his mind screamed at him to quit. He was at his 40%. Instead of stopping, he focused on just one more mile, then another. He broke an impossible distance into tiny chunks. He not only finished the race, but placed fifth overall. Goggins calls this callousing the mind. Just as hands develop calluses, your mind builds resilience when you repeatedly push into discomfort. You don't find toughness, you build it by doing things that suck every single day. This isn't just for athletes, it applies to you. Pause and think. What is one area where your mind is telling you to quit? What wall do you keep hitting? Drop it in the comments. Let's make a pact to push past that 40% barrier together. How do you apply this? Start small. First, use the 5 more method. When you want to quit at the gym, do 5 more reps. When you lose focus, work for 5 more minutes. This trains your brain to ignore its first impulse. Second, embrace a 30-day challenge. Intentionally do something you don't want to do for 30 straight days, like waking up earlier or taking cold showers. The goal is to prove you can operate in discomfort. Third, master your internal dialogue with the accountability mirror. Be brutally honest with yourself about where you're falling short, not to shame yourself, but to fuel your drive. The 40% rule is about understanding the biggest obstacle is the governor in your mind. That voice begging you to stay comfortable is robbing you of your potential. David Goggins proved a person can be reborn through sheer will because he stopped listening to the lies his mind told him. He learned to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You have that same power. That 60% reserve is waiting. The next time you hit a wall and everything screams, "Stop," remember this. You are not done. You are just getting started. You're only at 40%. Now, show yourself what the other 60% looks like. Thank you for watching. If this message hit home, subscribe. Now go get after it.